Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Amber May, the author of the 10 book series Veronica Swift Mysteries. And today I wanted to talk to you about the Veronica Swift Mysteries, like creation story, the background, the inspiration, all of the good stuff. Um, Today you will notice that I am not in my cozy corner. It is too hot in my kitchen, and I wanted to film this outside because outside is gorgeous and I need more sunshine. So that is why I'm outside. But today we are talking all things Veronica Swift inspiration and creation backstory. So, to start, I will say that since I was a kid, I've always believed in magic. And so I predominantly read still to this day fantasy books. And so Veronica Swift was originally supposed to be a paranormal. But I was writing middle grade fantasy and got super burned out right before I started the Cozy Mysteries. And so I decided to make it a contemporary. But that is kind of how she ended up being a shoemaker. Was she was originally supposed to be a leprechaun. And that is why I was launching the book on St. Patrick's Day, was because she was supposed to be a leprechaun. And so the references to her luck and stuff originally was like she was a leprechaun with bad luck, because I loved the irony of that. So yeah, originally supposed to be a paranormal. Mr. Jones was supposed to be a vampire, and so he wasn't actually having an affair with Mrs. Last. He was sucking the old out of her, was the original idea. Which I just think is funny. So yeah, that was one of the things. As far as Doodle's character, Doodle was actually, based on a dog that I had named Snickerdoodle, who was, I don't believe he was a West Highland Terrier. He was a mix of some sort. He was white. He had long hair. Um, Possibly a cross between a Shih Tzu and a Maltese. I have never been able to really identify what he was. My dad saved him, or my Tata, my bonus dad, saved him from being run over in one of the villages here on Guam, and brought him home. And he was the first dog I actually owned that was my own. I was much more a cat person before Doodle, and Doodle converted me to a full-blown dog person, wholeheartedly. And that poor dog went through so much. And then he just up and disappeared one day. Still not really sure what happened to him. And so this was my way of kind of working through the grieving process of not having my Doodle, but also a way for me to have his legacy live on a little bit. Now I will say Doodle in the book is far more sassy than Doodle in real life. A lot of the sassiness comes from Chalupa, our Jack Russell Chihuahua mix. She has so much attitude, and she chuffs, and she sneezes, and she blinks at you with such precision, and she has a very strong grasp on the English language. And so it was a mix of Doodle and Chalupa as the personality of Doodle in the book. Ronnie's character was not intentionally based on me, but heavily based on me. After I started doing some reflection on the things that were happening to Ronnie, the way she responds to things, all that stuff, I was like, oh, this was me putting myself into a role as an amateur sleuth. Okay. But yeah, there are it's not a direct, it's not directly me. She doesn't all love the same things and hate the same things as me. intentionally because I didn't want to do just that. Like, I wanted to give her some differences from myself after I realized what was going on. But still, very heavily me. Angie is a mix of several strong female people in my life, including my mom, my sister, and my Aunt Karen. Aunt Karen also heavily influences Jellybean. Jellybean also was kind of heavily influenced by my Aunt Yuki as well. And I'm saying aunt for all of these people, but as I think I've mentioned before, but maybe not, found family is a very large trope in my books, and it's because I have lived it over and over and over again. I was originally a Navy brat and grew up in the Navy. And so, like, we were moving around every year and a half, 2 years. I think the longest we stayed anywhere was 3 years before here, which is where we have stayed. But yeah, so we moved around a lot, and my mom did a really great job of creating a community around us wherever we were at. And so found family is something that, like, no matter what I'm writing, it comes through in the story. And when I'm reading, that's the books that I love the most, is when that's a trait that's very obvious in um the series or in the book itself, is that found family element. Love it. I will consume all the content with with found family in it. So, that being said, a lot of these ants are not technically biologically related to me, but they have a very significant place in my heart. And so they get the declaration of ants. Other creation background. Oh, a couple of things that I did when I was writing the series. Book 4 and 5 are actually murder weapons that got to be, that were chosen by some of my ARC readers. So I did like a little giveaway for my ARC readers, and they basically got to choose. There was 2 weapons and a murder victim that I had up for grabs. And so book 6 is actually the victim. But book 4 and 5 have the murder weapons chosen by my ARC readers, and so it was really fun to be able to, like, have to work within the confines of an idea that somebody else had, because I just really, really liked it. I like a challenge, and so I liked that this kind of presented a challenge, because I then had to, like, create the story kind of around the murder weapon, and still bring through the storylines and the characters and things that I had before. So, it was interesting. It was really fun. Yeah. What else? Ooh, okay. So, about the resort's name, I had called it Last Resort and Spa for several reasons. First, a bunch of people are getting murdered at this spa, or this resort, so it's the last resort and spa you'll ever stay at for some of these people. Also, the shoe mold that cobblers use to build up a shoe is actually called a last. And so I thought that was super funny. And then I kind of made the owners of the Last Resort and Spa's last name last, just to make a little bit of sense. But yeah, I thought it was super fun. And then, you know, I had to go with puns for the titles because it's cozy and you have to have puns for titles. I think it's just a waste if you don't. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of background on Veronica Swift Mysteries. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as part of the digital reward pack, I will have basically an extended version of this in that pack as an audio commentary. So, like, what I keep saying is think of it as the director's cut for your favorite movie. I'll be going through each of the 5 books, and if you didn't even want to get the books, but you want to hear about all of the creation and stuff behind the books, you can still get the digital reward pack for $2, and you can get that audio commentary if that's something you're interested in. And the links are below for the Kickstarter. We will be launching very, very soon, so I hope to see you there. Until next time, be blessed.